Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're gonna be going over last week's session, last week's trading session. There were a lot of good opportunities. The market was very volatile. Just overall like crazy week. So let's get into it. First of all, on the daily, I've already put in a replay. First of all, on the daily, we have a area of demand right here, which hasn't been tested. We did fill in some imbalance, but no clear test of the daily just yet. Dropping down to the 4-hour, you can see our daily zone is now this little guy. And on the 4-hour, we can see clear supply right there. Alright, now going over the structure. What are we trading in? We have a low, a high, a low, a high, a lower low, and then we see a high. So currently within this structure we are bullish, trading back to the supply. So this is my low, this is my daily high, my 4-hour high. Dropping down to the 1-hour. What can we see there? Again, this is still our zone. From the daily to the 4-hour. This is the 4-hour. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, because this candle is inducing this before the move, so I'm just gonna keep it like this. Or we could, if you want to be very specific, you could draw it like this, right? So moving forward, looking at our 1-hour structure, we have a low, a high, a lower low, and then another higher high again. And then let me see. Yeah, within the 1-hour structure, we are still bullish, but on the 15 and 5, we are bearish because we broke this point and these points over here. But we'll get into that in a second. Looking at our 1-hour supply and demand. Let's see. I have this area over here that was holding the structure point on a lower time frame. Again, another reaction here, which didn't sustain to create a newer high. Then again, created a lower low within the lower time frames. But then again, we came back to pick up demand again, created a reaction, didn't sustain again, and now we can see that this point of demand is now being broken. See, yeah. This point of demand is now being broken, which is shifting the market from a bullish environment into a bearish environment. So yeah, let's see what we have for supply. Right away, right out of the gate, we could see a clear supply over here. This area has not been tested yet, it's still very fresh. There's a lot of imbalance in between, which is actually like one of the indications that a bank or institution is in play, because of the volume. A lot of people use the volume indicator, but I personally don't. I look at the candles and what they represent as volume. So moving forward, we have an area of supply right here, which needs to be tested. You could call this an area of demand, but personally do not like the way these candles are being printed. What I do see is the order flow. So we have a push, and then push up, push down, which comes back into this area, which is the first test. Then we see another move, comes back into this area, which creates the order flow. Damn, my bad. Alright, back to business. Which creates the order flow and then creates another push to the upside. So what I'm curious at right now is to see if there's anything in here that is still unmitigated. I see that there is a little bit of imbalance in here, so I'm just gonna mark that out, and then when we drop down to the lower time frames, we'll investigate. But for now, let's see on the 15. Again, clear area of supply. Like I said, structure is turning bearish. I have a inner supply which has been tested, creates a nice reaction. But again, it's 8, and I see 6:45, 5 o'clock. For me, the trading day is over personally. Let's put on this. Yeah, I forgot to change my clock. I still need to do the settings for this, but for now it's good because last week was, the correct time. Anyways, moving forward, let's see. Let's wait for London open. Okay. Wait, where is London open? What the? Yeah, there, right there. Okay. Let's move back. So we have this area of supply which is being tested within the Asian session still. Creates a nice reaction, which we want to see. And then London comes in. Yeah, just right now. London comes back in. Okay, so now we have that area being tested, and now we're gonna look for new possible entries, right? So this for me is my last supply that has been used. Come and mitigate that, so I'm gonna mark that out. Drop into the 1 minute. You can see. So yeah, we did come from demand. It wicked a little under it, but that's fine. Yeah, there was a counter trade, but for me it didn't test. Right here. Now we can see this high being induced, being taken out. Then you can see clear reaction off of our supply. Got a second BOS breaker structure. So I'm gonna just mark this out. This was the last move that came in here, so I'm just gonna enter somewhere in here. Something like this. So let's see, plus 2 pips or pipettes. Now let's see, come back in. Nice mitigation again, and then yeah, we're triggered into the trade. So okay, we do have the sell side in right now. Let's see if there's any liquidity to be taken out. Yeah, right there. All right, perfect. So, yeah, we induced the sell side first by breaking this trend line. But now, now is the real move happening. So what can we see? All right, perfect. Let's see if we could get a if we could catch a continuation trade, which would be nice. So we left an imbalance in here, and then we left a supply area in here. See if that correlates within the 3 minute. 3 minute does correlate. 2 minute does correlate. Okay, so I'm gonna watch this area. When we come back, we don't. Um, but what is its target right now? So okay, I see that we have an area of demand right here, which is not being respected, which is logically so because it's dropping into the 1 minute. We could try and figure out. The 5 minute is good. We could try to figure out the order flow, right? So for me, see clear order flow here, clear order flow here, and then we came back again, clear order flow here. So we have some nice order flow that has been introduced to the market, and all of them have been mitigated. Um, Looking at the 5 minute, maybe the 1 minute, there could be something that hasn't been mitigated, but the 5 minute is pretty clear. So there's not really much here for it to continue other than this point. So yeah, let's see. No real reaction, no 1 minute break of structure. So there's not really an entry, and also no reason to close this trade. Maybe take out some volume, take out some profit. It's always good, but no real reason to close the trade out now. Looking into the 30-minute, we could see actually this whole area as a point of liquidity because of all of the touches. The retail, familia loves to enter off of areas where the market bounced a lot. In which case is this area. But what also interests me is the liquidity that has been created to the upside. What I've actually missed throughout the week, which I'm reflecting on right now. We could see a clear high, another clear high, and another clear high. And look how perfect all of these touches are, right? It's not coincidence. Uh, it's it's uh, it's creation. So again, we hit this. All right, perfect. So now, what can we target? Again, we were talking about this area, right? So let's drop into the 5 minutes, see what that area has to offer. Okay. So for me, we have this area. And this area over here, I'm just going to mark this as this. I don't want to have two zones. Alright, perfect. Hit auto. Let's get back into the 15. Are we approaching New York? No, we're still a little far away. Okay, let's see. Is this not? No, okay, that's not. Okay, that's not support area. Okay, so current structure is still bearish. Yeah. Okay. I know people that do this just off of structure. They go, okay, high, low. That's my last supply area. That's right there. But for me, because we're at a low, like I like to sell high and buy low, if that makes sense. But there are people that just trade this. I personally don't. But if your appetite for risk is, if it fits in your trading plan, or if you maybe have a pretty large account where you could risk these type of trades, sure, go for it. But for me, no. All right, now New York opens. Continuation. All right, now we can see the pullback. See 5 minutes. We did break 5 minute structure, so we are counter bullish at the moment. Also, pretty nice reaction. Let's see where this reaction came from actually. There's always something that moves it, right? That already has been tested, but let's see. Yeah, okay, so it did come and test it again, which now makes it even more of a weak point for the market just to trade through. Just like all this order flow over here, right? So it did come in, test, break the structure, but then the overall trading environment is still bearish. And I'm going to be marking out, let's see, 3 minute, 2 minute. Okay. So for me, this is my area on the 2 minute. Alright, correlates with the 5 minute as well. We could, get this within here, this low and this high. And let's see what happens. We could see some compression. The market is kind of being trapped into a range. It's being compressed. There's no real clear decision of what it wants to do. Okay. So now that it did break structure, we have supply and demand that is in play, right? We have this area, and then I believe we have this area over here. So I'm gonna mark them both out. You could do this. Doesn't really. The trading day is over basically. Shouldn't be after the charts at this moment. So let's wait for London again. Alright. London opens. Let's see what happens. Just before London, you could see nice structure and liquidity which is being created. We have a point of supply right here which is being picked up as well. Right. After this point it gets tested, we could see the order flow move pretty nicely. So yeah. With that being said, London opened pretty aggressively to the downside. Comes back in, mitigates the orders that are being used for that push. Then we come in and test this supply, which we have demand, which we have marked out, and off of that we could see a nice reaction. Well, now we could see the structure break, which is a clear indication of what the market potentially wants to do. We have our area of demand, which has been used to test the previous demand. For me, this zone is too big, so what you could do is place an order on 50%. I personally didn't take this trade because I thought this candle was ugly, but it was valid. For those who took it, congratulations. So 2 pip stop, it's not bad. Let's see. This is our first area that we want to target. Still want to 14. Not bad at all. Alright, let's hit play. Boom, we come in, we test, and we're off. We break the M5 structure point, I believe. Yeah. Now we're moving into the supply. Okay, we came in and cleared this high as well. Now we come into the supply. Okay, let's see what happens there, right? We do see a reaction. Second time frame break of structure. We did break the order flow point. We did not test this. Let's see, 3 minute. This is my 3 minute, 5 minute. Okay. Okay. What's my 5 minute structure? Where is it really? Okay. So for me, we did have a nice reaction. We did have a second time frame break of structure and an order flow point that broke. So I'm going to look for a trade continuation right in here. Right, stop above. See what we could target. Next point of demand. Okay, oh, New York opens. Okay. Interesting. Let's see, 3 minute. We do have this candle. Oh, I remember this trade. I missed this. Yeah. This was nasty. This was nasty. Yeah. I missed this trade. Alright then. Let's get this out. Okay, let's see. 15 minute. This is our next point of demand. So let's see if we could get. Okay, no reaction, no trade, also broke structure. So it's bearish again. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then Tokyo comes in again. Okay, so trading is over. We go into we're going to the next London session. Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. Okay, London opens again. Let's see what we did. 5 minute. Not really much. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there is this supply was already tested once, but we did come back to it and then react off of it. We have an area over here that is still not mitigated. Let's see, 3 minute. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm just gonna mark it out so you guys can see why I reacted off of this point. It did also induce it, so it did come up just a little bit above before the move. Yeah. Okay, so this actually for me, London opened already. Okay, London opened, induced the high, then we see a move to the downside. Okay, so we are still bearish. Okay. We broke the structure point. Good. Now I'm looking for this as a continuation. Yeah, okay, nice reaction. Yeah, that's a nice trade. There we go. So okay, again, what can we target? We have this point over here. Also nice compression again. Price is being yeah, price is being compressed into a range. So let's see, 1 minute. Okay, let's not lose sight of what's going on here. Not much, not much. Not much. Okay. Do have a ultimate demand, uh, a last point of demand, which we do have to be careful. Induced it, and then we see a reaction. Okay, so if it breaks this point, probably close this. Let's wait and see. Still gets respected. Still gets respected. Okay, now we do break, and we are approaching New York. Okay. Yeah. My bad, guys. My bad. This was also a trade I took. It was a risky trade. But nonetheless, a trade. Because why? I saw that the market was being compressed again. It was uh, being compressed into a range where only sellers were in the majority. And for me, we did come into that point of demand. Yes, we did come lower and captured the low. Um, but nonetheless, for me, that's it depends on how you read it, right? But for me, this was valid, and I took this trade over here. Boom. No. Uh, and yeah, the let's see. I shouldn't really complain. Like 1 to 15, it's not bad. Okay. Nice reaction again. Breaks the structure. Didn't come back, unfortunately. I was looking for a re-entry, but no real opportunity there. It was just flying. It was crazy. New York comes in, respects the structure, breaks this point. Okay. Hold on. No, not so fast, man. Okay. So let's see. We come back into that area which hasn't been mitigated, and where we missed our trade. And again, what do? We come in, induce the high. We see that this low has been broken, so I naturally was looking at this area to sell. I was already pretty nice in profit from the buy, so I thought, sure, we could risk this trade. Um, this is where I sold, but what happened is the market did come back and take me out break even before moving very nicely to the downside. So here, whenever we break even, this point got tested, so I was afraid that it's gonna continue to the upside, so we're gonna break even. But then again, it did later on. It did no, it did not break. So okay, boom. Okay, so here it broke. So I was like, okay, cool, nice. We're gonna go definitely to the downside. But then it did come back, and after it did test, um, yeah, it moved pretty nicely. It even broke this point, I believe. Let's see, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean 3 minutes would look good. So why am I choosing this candle? Because this candle has imbalance in it. Came in, reacted. Let's see if there's a buy. Okay, we did break. We did break this point. Let's see, 5 minute no real structure, 3 minute yes. Okay. Trading these over, so let's just play it out, see what happens. And again, like, this is not bad, you know. I'm gonna start doing this more, setting them as limits. Yes, you do not have an extra confirmation, but if the risk to reward is there, bro, like, you shouldn't really, like, you know, 'cause at the end of the day, it is a we take calculated risks. We never know exactly where or when the market's gonna turn. Of course, looking at what we're doing here and deciphering each and every like little supply and demand is creating that illusion. But this only, you know, this is our edge, and our edge allows us to take this many frequency of trades with this amount of risk to reward. But if the risk management isn't there, then there will be no success, of course. So okay, going into the next London session, and after that London session, we're gonna wrap it up. I'll be leaving the rest of the trading days for you guys to backtest, basically. Okay, so London Open hits. Let's see, let's see, 15-minute, 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour is not really showing much. 30-minute, not really showing much. 15, not really showing much. Okay, let's see what the 5 does. A little high. This point broke. Okay. So naturally, I'm gonna look at this for my point of demand. Okay. There's a liquidity up above in this point. Look how many tests, how many times the market came in and tested this area. So for me, this is point of liquidity. Now London opened. Okay. I have lows. I have liquidity point that got broken. We do have an order flow point. Ah, yeah, I remember this. This was tricky. And again, came back, created more liquidity, probably mitigated off of this before the move. And now look, we are like semi-bearish, right? Looking at this point, we'll watch what happens. Okay, so now people are thinking, okay, we're bullish. Bam, bam. Now it sells back, so naturally people would want to look at this as a buy. Guess it gives the reaction, but not enough, of course, for us. And then boom, slams everybody out, comes back into this point of demand, which we have marked out from the 5-minute, which is creating the order flow. So this is a good area to buy from, right? Buy low, sell high. Alright, let's see. Okay. I guess not. That's a stop loss, which is perfectly fine. What do we see next? Okay. Let's see why. So there's too much liquidity within this area, right? First touch, second touch, third touch. So a lot of buyers, including me, unfortunately. Oh my god, I just missed this. Okay, so like I said, this was a pretty tricky one, even now backtesting it, right? So we have this area of supply which got tested. Yes, there is liquidity above that, but nonetheless, there is still supply. So it tested it, and then gave the move. Was there an entry? Not really. No, not really. Okay. Remember, guys, the sell from earlier on the week is still active, so it's like a 1 to what? 1 to 60, 1 to 56. So now we're moving into these areas. Finally, okay. Came in, tested, and now we can see the break. Okay. Let's see, was there a 1 minute? Okay, let's get rid of this. Was there a 1 minute entry? Yes. So this is our structure point. Of course, it got broken by this, but within that we have a inner break of structure which has been created. Which is right here. Then came back and mitigated this. We did not test this, unfortunately. I would have wanted to see this being tested first, but we didn't do that, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it did create a pretty nice trade out of it. Even though if you couldn't have traded, no, the principles are the same. Okay, let's see. Is there a New York continuation? Okay, then New York comes in. Whoa, New York comes in, induces this high and this liquidity. Let's see. Does it pick up anything in here? Not really. Just reacts off of imbalance. Oh no, not even imbalance. Just reacts out of nowhere. All right. Let's see. This was our last point of demand. Okay. It didn't really show any slowdown. Nope. Came back in, tested again. Oh, okay. And then just starts flying. Yeah, I remember this. And why? Well, if we take a closer look at what happened here, this low before this nice move, this second low got induced by this move, right? So naturally, the orders that are being stuck are within this low. So let me just do this. There you can see picture perfect. Bam. We come in, test it, and then move up. And again, if you want to risk it, you could. Targeting what? Order flow, order flow, order flow. There's nothing in here anymore, right? So our next target is going to be, let's see, 15 minute. Should be this. If the market wants to react off of a higher supply and demand, sure. But remember what I told you guys earlier. Within this trend line, 1, 2, 3 touches, so there's a lot of liquidity up there. But nonetheless, this should have been the first take profit if you were in this buy. And then boom, we shoot through. We come back into the 4-hour. And then the 4-hour gave a pretty nice entry as well. Going back over it. Yeah, so it was this very ABC. So I have our low that has been broken. Last time mitigated. Entry. Stop just above. Okay, now we could target the buy side. Next demand. Oh yeah, this area is still intact. And Tokyo comes in. I'm just gonna wrap this up right now. Alright. Let's finish this up. And then boom. Disrespected it. but yeah, pretty clear. Now back into this area, just created a reaction again, and now Tokyo or yeah, Asian sessions open. So yeah, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed the session. Hope you enjoyed the back testing. Um, Try to implement what you see and what you learn. Try to find areas of liquidity that are being created, uh, just like this on the higher time frame. Because the higher the time frame, the more people are going to have a similar opinion, which is going to be creating that pool of liquidity. Look for imbalances. Look for where the market has turned quite significantly, but try to find the logic. Because look, like here was a significant push, but the logic behind this, why you should not be looking for a sell here, it's because of the liquidity that has been created above, right? So try to take these lessons, try to implement them, and good luck for this trading week. I believe it's going to be a very, very volatile and nice week, just like last week. So let's wait and see. Okay, guys. Bye bye.